Okay. So this year, I was tremendously blessed with the gift of wellness. And I knew that I just needed to share this with everyone, that I came in contact with, right? And so all my closest people, the people I talked to face to face, just sharing with, the wellness that I experienced. And I was like, you know what? Why don't I share this with everybody in my contact list? So I am here with Keisha Wright, who is the founder of Emotional Recovery Clinic that I was blessed with the opportunity to attend. And I just wanted to have a conversation with her because I want to be able to give the gift of wellness to those who may be facing some really difficult situations because the holidays, it doesn't always bring happy joy, thoughts for everybody. Sometimes when you think about getting together with family, it's kind of triggering. So I've asked Keisha to have a conversation with me. And so we can talk about, what do you do when somebody in your family who is that person shows up and does that thing that triggered you, and just share some of her wonderful tips and tricks about being healthy in the holidays. So welcome, Keisha.
Sabrina, thank you so much for having me. I mean, super excited. First of all, watching you walk through the clinic and seeing the transformation. It's not a change. Change means you change back. Transformation means you were transformed and you never want to go back, right? And so watching the transformation that has taken place in your life and you just calling me and asking me would I do this, and the fact that you are wanting to give the gift of wellness to your friends, family, and people that you know just excited me. What an amazing gift to give people. That's something that cannot be, wrapped. It's something you don't have to worry about them already having. You are going to give them a gift that they are going to be able to take, not just for this holiday season, hopefully, but they are going to be able to take and they're going to be able to launch forward. And so the question that you ask is like, Keisha, the holidays don't always bring joy, right? Don't always bring joy and excitement, and people are not always looking forward to sitting down and eating that turkey dinner again with people that have hurt them, wounded them. And so the buzzword, okay, triggers and boundaries. Those are my buzzwords. And the reason I say that is because I look at those words maybe a little differently than what people are currently looking at them with, the lenses they're looking. So let's just do an example. Like, so you've got family that you're getting together over Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, and you are walking into this already knowing that they're going to trip you up or they're going to try to trip you up, or they always do the whatever it is, or they bring up the topic to make everyone feel uncomfortable. Whatever that thing is, how do you prepare? Do you need to prepare? Why do you prepare? What are some tools and techniques that you can do that you can put in your tool belt to use, knowing that all the ingredients are on the counter to make this recipe of disaster? And so that's what I'm hearing you say. And so we're going to take it from that point, and I hope that your listeners are going to be able to put whatever their thing is in the blank. So, my first thing that I want to give them to do is acknowledge it. Many times we go into hopes of saying, they're not, like, surely not this year. Okay. And so, what that means, I believe trauma is an injury, not a disorder. I say that anytime I get a chance. Okay. And so, what has taken place is Aunt Susie, Uncle Mike, whoever they are, has caused an injury. Okay. It's not a disorder. They've caused an injury. 9 times out of 10, it really probably wasn't them. Okay, because I believe trauma is like Legos and they actually stack. Okay, so I'm not saying Aunt Susie and Uncle Mike didn't stack a Lego on your boo boo. Okay, but the wound, the gaping hole was already there. Okay, so we need to acknowledge it. All the ingredients are there to bake the cake of disaster. All right. And Aunt Susie's the flour and Uncle Mike's the milk. Okay. And so it's here. And so we need to be able to vocalize it and acknowledge it. This has potential. All right. Now, the next step is, how have they tripped me up in the past, right? What are some things that they have done? What does that mean, Sabrina? That means we're not just looking at, remember what they did at Thanksgiving? Okay, that's one. But what is the potential? What's the history? I am an avid believer, unless you learn to deal with the pain of the past, you'll never be able to deal with the problems of the present, right? So, what is the history? Why are we looking at the history? All right. I love it when either pastors or people in the word say, okay, but love doesn't keep a record of wrong. If I'm doing that, I'm keeping a record of wrong. No, love does not keep a record of wrong. Okay. We aren't tracking the wrong, we are tracking the injury. Okay. Because it's not just Aunt Susie and Uncle Mike that have injured you this way. All right. God's word also tells you to stand on guard. Okay. If you don't acknowledge that you need to guard something, you've now become a target for the enemy. All right. So if you don't have a plan, then you are becoming a target. Why? You're a very wide target. Why are you the target? One, you're born again, you're anointed, you're set aside. Two, it's happened before because you have a gaping hole and you've got all this debris stacking on top of it. Okay. So the last thing, okay, before we kind of pull back some more layers, is identifying the feeling that comes along with the problems of the past. How did it make you feel? Don't give me words like anger, pissed off, no, those are surface words. Okay, I'm looking for, I felt rejected. Every Aunt Susie is loaded. She has more dollars than cents, and she gives everybody a present, and I'm left out. That doesn't, the first surface word is anger. I don't need her money, whatever the case. But no, the truth of the matter is it's really rejection. Do you see how that goes deeper? So I believe that's your starting point. Being able to acknowledge it, looking for it, being able to acknowledge it, and identifying for what it is.
So good. I mean, that right there is worth thousands of dollars of therapy, and years of therapy just thinking about that because, you know, a lot of times we want to pass that blame onto someone else, and just point the finger and say it's their fault because of how they are and what they've done. But this really gives an opportunity to really self reflect and say,
Absolutely.
well, I can't change them, but I can be transformed myself.
Absolutely.
So that's really good.
Absolutely. So
Oh my
I think
gosh.
now that we've acknowledged it, we've brought it to the light. Okay, so this is my belief. One, I believe time doesn't heal all wounds. It really sets up a nasty infection. I don't know who made that up, but I'd love to meet with them, right? All right. And so now what we've done, God's word says that where there's light, there can't be darkness. What have you done? Have you eliminated Aunt Susie? No. Is she still going to do her thing? Count on it. Okay, expect it. But what you've done is you've turned on the light. You have brought light where there's darkness. You can't hide pain. You can't bury it in the ground. You waiting for Aunt Susie to die. Let me tell you, something somewhere along the line, that rejection trauma is going to surface back up, guaranteed. You can't bury it in the ground, and you can't bury it far enough in your heart not to be able to deal with it, right? So what you've done now is you've turned on the light. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, the next thing that I like for people to see is hurting people hurt people. They don't mean to, oftentimes, okay? But hurting people hurt people. And it's looking at the other person through a well lens opposed to a wounded lens. Because you have an injury, you are looking at not just Aunt Susie, you're looking at everyone around you through broken lenses. Well, wait a minute, Keisha, that's not true. I've got my mom or my sister or my aunt. They don't treat me like that. I don't look at them that way. I guarantee you, just because they haven't touched that boo-boo of, remember, that wound of rejection, just because they haven't touched that, you have not changed your lenses. It's just that they haven't touched it. So that leads us to what many people put on as boundaries, right? Okay, and so this is where some of your listeners might give you a little bit of pushback, but that's okay because you're sending this out to them, and they can call you up and fuss about it later, right? So here's where people get pushback. They put a boundary for someone that's wounded them. What you're really asking, and we mistake that for wellness, okay? It's not wellness. It is fictitious. It is a false sense of being well. It's not true. What you have accomplished is you've built a wall around Aunt Susie so Aunt Susie can't touch your boo-boo. That's all you've done. And anytime it's not a boundary for Keisha is like a fence, it's a fence line. Okay. Those things can be altered. Walls are different than fences. You have built a wall, and sometimes walls are necessary, but they're very temporary. Because what happens is you build a wall, and then quickly you'll find yourself, you are now imprisoned in the wall that you've built around yourself, so no one touches the wound. Okay? What does that mean? That means that the wound's really not healed. You've just stopped other people from touching it. It's a false sense of reality. Okay? Between now and Christmas, the odds of you getting this wound healed, so when other people touch it, now it's a scar and it really doesn't hurt as much, is slim to none. So now you're like, well, great. Now you've pulled all this, and now you tell me, okay, no, this is what I want to encourage you. When this pain begins to crop up over the holidays, I would encourage you, grab this device right here because everybody's got it. So grab this device, go in your notes section on your phone, and start documenting the feelings. Ask yourself, how does this feel? Because later, hopefully, you're going to grab those feelings and you're going to be able to unpack this in other injuries of your life. That pain that God is allowing to come to the surface are things He is truly wanting to heal. But what we do is we push it down, we build a wall, no one touches the boo-boo. And so now we are encapsulated, and no one can get in, no one can get out. We call ourselves well, but really the fact of the matter is no one's touching the open, gaping wound that you have.
That's really, that's priceless, honestly, because these are some of the things that we learned, during the clinic, which was absolutely fantastic. And as we had just come through Thanksgiving, there was something that happened that just kind of was offensive, right? It was offensive. And I realized, like, normally, way it was said, it would have just like made me feel like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's happening again. And it and it really would have, hurt my heart, my ego, my self-esteem. I was literally able to process it in that moment to say, "What does this make me feel?" I said, "This doesn't make me feel good," but I realized that it's a lie. It's not true what this person has said. And I was really able to not, okay, what I call like a little spiral, that's inside you're spiraling down, and all these negative thoughts, kind of, make you dig even further into this, this whole, of just not feeling good about yourself and not enough, and all that stuff, those lies. And because of experiencing the clinic, I was like, recognize it for what it is, like really documenting how I feel, and I'm unbothered. Like, it just felt so weird, to be able to not, feel that whole spiral effect, but to really address it. And you know this really, really, really works. So um, I want to encourage you to reach out to Keisha, because I have this amazing conference that's coming up, and I'm super excited about it. And I really want you to talk about it, because sometimes people may not be able to go to a clinic, right? Clinic is checking out for 4 days
Yes.
and not using your phone and really being engaged. And I know for some people it's really hard.
Big
I
commitment.
always joke about, yeah, it's a huge commitment, and when you're running a business, then you're a parent, and then taking care of a parent, all that stuff. It just seemed impossible. But I was able to do it because I knew that I needed healing. I knew that, what you were offering was what I needed. But everyone won't be able to do that. So I know you were challenged to do
Was.
something different.
Yes, I was. And I love that. Like I love the 4-day clinics. Like that's my jam. That's my baby. I mean, walking away with people for 4 days and checking them out of life is just taking the clocks off the wall is my favorite thing. Like there's not a 4 like as you know, it's like there's not a 45-minute time for you to dump. You have 4 days. And so that's my favorite thing to do. But I have been stretched, okay, and challenged, and I have said, "Yes, Lord, here am I, send me," to do a conference. And so this is, you know, people are familiar with conferences. So this is going to take place at a church, and it's going to be, a large conference. It's not going to be the just 15 people, me in a home for 4 days with no clocks on the wall. So this is a conference. But why am I super excited about this conference? Is because when people come to the clinic, they have this mindset of what they need to work on, right? And so they quickly find out that we're not doing that, that I'm gonna, rewind their life, and we're gonna like it, I'm gonna strip them, and we're gonna move forward in a certain way. And so that is great, and a lot of people need that. But sometimes people are like, okay, these are the things that really are triggers, wounds, pain points for me, and I want to be able to pick and choose. How do I grab I want it a la carte. I want to grab certain tools because this is what's for me. And I even love this conference a little bit, just it's different. Okay. It's different because my girls that have been to my clinics, it's different because you are now getting to go deeper, maybe with some things that you learned where we did a little bit of a broad stroke in certain areas. And now you are able to dig in even at a deeper level with taking these classes. So, what does that mean? We have 21 classes over a day and a half. So we are offering, I am bringing my team in for the local people, it's Hendersonville, North Carolina. If you're flying, it's Asheville. Okay. And so I am bringing my team in, and we are going to they are teaching 21 classes. Plus, I am teaching, I think, 4 general sessions where I have everyone together. But you get to pick and choose. Okay. So some of the popular things are, it's contagious. One of my favorite things to teach is when you change, it forces relationships in your life to change, even if the other person does not choose wellness. And so the woman that's teaching this, her family hasn't chose wellness, but because she's a well woman, she has injected wellness in her family, and it is changing her family, even though her family is resistant to wellness. Okay. And so I love how contagious wellness is. She's forcing them to deal with a woman that's well, not a woman that's wounded. Therefore, it changes the relationship. Another popular one is one that is called Dear Younger Me, How to Forgive Myself. Okay, how do you forgive yourself? You can maybe forgive others, but how when you have been the culprit, you have done the whatever, how do you forgiveness of oneself is not something that's taught. And so that injury is injected in your heart, and you how do you work through that? And so my husband is teaching that. And for those of you that don't know my story, infidelity entered our life 13 years ago in a major big way, literally rang our doorbell. Okay, and so my husband had to walk through forgiving himself when I wasn't doing that. Okay. Another session is something called, stolen innocence. And we're talking about childhood sexual trauma. And so these are, you can pull different classes. There's 21. This team has gone above and beyond. And so you get to pull these classes and you get to pick and choose what classes you wanted to talk about and work through. And they are really going to be sitting down talking with you, giving you real life application on how to deal with this particular topic, okay, that you were registered for. And so this is my favorite part, Sabrina, because clinics, you've been to one. I feel like I try and make them as affordable as possible, but they are pricey. You get me and my team for 4 days. It's all inclusive. We bring you to wonderful, environments and facilities and catered meals and all that kind of stuff. But my favorite part about this is not only do you get the opportunity to pick and choose, the price on this, guys, I don't know if you go out to
Wow.
dinner with your family, but the price on this is absolutely ridiculously affordable because this church has jumped in to make it super ridiculous affordable. Okay. So the price of the conference is $150 for 2 days,
Yeah.
not a day,
Yeah.
$150. You can't go to dinner with a family of 4 or 5 nowadays, a sit down dinner for $150. It's just not. I tell people I told my husband the other day they are charging cover charges when you go to Publix. Like it's $50 to walk in. Like I don't know what happened. Like I walk out, it's mandatory that you spend $50 when you walk in the grocery store. And so for $150, you're going to be able to pick and choose your classes. What's going to be great coming fresh off of the holidays? You're going to have all this inside of you, and you're going to think, all right, I'm going into 2024. I'm not doing this. You're drawing lines in the sand. You're building walls. Okay. And you think you've got it,
Mhm.
and you don't. And so
Yes.
now you can look at these classes and pick some classes for you to go to for $150. The last thing is you can eat lunch with me and my team. If you don't want to leave campus, you can eat lunch. I think lunch is $25. They're bringing in barbecue and all kind of stuff. And you can sit down and you can do just like this and sit down with me and ask me real questions about what's going on in your life. And I'm going to make sure that you get real answers and real tangible things, application for you to start doing now. Because I believe that if you're taught how to do something, then most people want to heal. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah. I think this is absolutely fantastic. Like you couldn't give yourself a better gift. One of the things that I knew is like was like I can't go into 2024 with this same stuff that I've been dealing with for the last 40 plus years.
Right.
I knew, and I'm like, what a way to kick off your year. What a way to start a new life. Forget the New Year's resolutions.
No kidding.
You're not gonna be done by March, that's or some of us February.
Yes.
You cannot give yourself a better gift. I am telling you, just the courses, the names alone, like it's mind blowing to me that you're offering so much for $150, that it's mind blowing, because this is life changing stuff. Like,
Mhm.
it's not just for you, but it's for like generations that come behind you. It's for those that are near you. I mean, my listen, the best compliment that I received and let me know that it was well worth it, it's when my husband, when we said, "Oh my gosh, I see the change." It's like, you do?
Sabrina, and the amazing thing about this, listen, everybody, I'm gonna tell y'all right now, everybody, January, y'all gonna eat too much y'all ate too much for Thanksgiving, you're gonna eat too much for Christmas, and every single person on this planet's gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna start eating healthier. I'm gonna do keto. I'm gonna go to the gym. And you know what? It takes time. Do it. I don't care. That's amazing. Okay. I'm not a gym girl. Okay. So I'm just not. Do it. It's amazing. But you know that I know, and I know that you know that it's going to take time to see that change if you are consistent with it. It is going to take time to see that. Let me tell you, and I am not exaggerating. You can walk in, you can grab these tools on January 12th and 13th, okay? January 12th and 13th. And you will see a difference January 14th and 15th. It is now, will you have to continue using this? Absolutely. It'll be muscle memory. Absolutely. But I can promise you, Keisha, you're saying that I can start applying tools to a 40-year-old wound and I can start feeling relief. And the answer to that is yes. Yes,
Yes. Yes.
if you choose
We're
to.
witness. Oh my gosh, Keisha, can you please give your website so people know where to jump on and register and start selecting their classes?
Absolutely. It is emotionalrecoveryclinic.org. So when you go on the website, click on relationship recovery. There's a list of classes there. Okay. And so this is the exciting thing about this church that is partnering with us to make this affordable. Okay. And so the pastor's given me permission, like he had released it to his church. And then he was like, he should tell everybody. So you're sitting around. I want you just to imagine you're sitting around Christmas night. You've done all the things with all the people. And now you're back home thinking that no good, I can't believe she, he, they didn't. And you can pick up your phone, you can log in, and you can give yourself the gift of wellness for you. And here's the thing, if you type in the promo early bird, Christmas Day, they didn't get you nothing, give it to yourself. And you can get it for $125. So that means you can get lunch with tack on the lunch with me, and the whole thing is $150, right? But you can give yourself Christmas Day, they can be taking you off, and you're like, I remember that crazy girl said for 120, I'm gonna give it to myself. Okay. So here's the thing. If you need help picking out classes, I really enjoy helping people find wellness. So if you're like, wait, there's so many classes, I don't know which one's going to benefit me more, pick up the phone, give me a call. My number's on the website. I will really call you back. Okay. I will really answer you. Okay. And you can kind of give me a snapshot of your life. I will help you navigate the best classes to get the fastest relief for you. Absolutely. So my number's on the website. If you're not at the website, it's 239 333 8601. Call or text that number. Let's set up some time to chat. Let's not take woundedness into 24. You owe it to yours. Wellness is your birthright.
Good. I love that. I love that. Wellness is your birthright. Listen, jump on as quickly as possible, saying don't wait. But if it takes Christmas trauma for you to actually do it, please. And like you just said, wellness is your birthright. That's the best thing. It's better than a brand new car. It's better than anything you could ever give yourself. So I want to say thank you, Keisha, not just for taking a moment with me, but for what you do, because what you do is so valuable to the kingdom. So I just want to say thank you for for all that you're doing. I know this is a lot, but this is absolutely necessary. So thank you for this. Right.
You're more than welcome. Thank you for having me, and I wish you and your family and whoever you're gifting this to, I wish you the merriest Christmas. But I am praying that you accept wellness in your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.